beautiful makeup lovers, thank you so much for tuning in with me today and a very warm welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do a tag video which is the makeup collection tag, which has been originally created by Georgia Harris. Of course, I'm going to leave her channel and her video down below. I saw the first take on this, I believe it was from Lacie from Spooky Lips and Fat Hips. So I'm also going to leave hers below and her channel. So in case for some reason you don't know them, but you do know me, please go ahead and check them out. They are great. So let's get into the questions, without big introductions. And it's altogether 14 questions, and I hope I'm not going to take forever on this. I'm planning this to be a short video. So the first question is, how long have you been collecting makeup? So I am not someone who collects makeup in the way that I do now since a very long time. Maybe since 1.5 years. Maybe in 2 years ago it started a bit, I was more interested. I watched more beauty YouTube. I was more interested, in not actually just buying a foundation, but actually before watch reviews on which foundation would be actually good for my skin type, etc. All those things. And yeah, so I think that I really seriously collect makeup, that I'm really following trend mood and follow the new makeup releases actually to see what I'm going to buy, rather than just stepping by the store and oh, this looks pretty, let's take it. I think it's maybe since 1.5 years. That's what I would really say is collecting makeup, is if you really keep up with the newest things instead of just going inside and the drugstore and be like, oh, this is pretty. That's a different kind of collecting. That's also collecting. I don't know, right? I kind of make this line a little bit. Okay, let's move on. I hope I answered this question okay. So the next question is, what kind of collection do you have? Minimal, utilitarian, aesthetic, historical, etc. Definitely not minimalistic. I think, I don't know, I'm actually not entirely sure how to describe it. I don't know, it's big. I don't know, is this a characteristic? But if you want to characterize it otherwise, give it actually a character, I would say probably the most that fits here is historical, because I do have some palettes in my collection and some items in my collection that I keep slowly for being old palettes, iconic ones like the Naked palette, some pretty old Urban Decay palettes that I keep for the sake of having them maybe, or some emotional makeup. It's also a bit emotional because I tend to keep makeup that I'm in some way emotionally attached to, because I bought it on a trip, or because I don't know, felt, it was a gift from someone or something like this, and or it was maybe my only makeup item at this point. So it's kind of historical / emotional, I would say, because if I don't have a special attachment to an item, because it's not that kind of an iconic item, or it's not a special story behind it, I'm very fast on being like, okay, goodbye. And if one of those two things that I mentioned is the case, then I'm definitely someone who's like, no, I need to keep this, I need to keep this. So the next question is the third one, and this is, are you a completionist? And I would say that goes in maybe two ways. One of them is, if a whole collection comes out, would I buy everything just to have the whole collection, to have it complete? This definitely not. I'm not a completionist. I can very well buy just one item and be happy with it. I don't need everything. Most of the time it's the eyeshadow palette, and the rest I don't care. If it's a collection of eyeshadow palettes, maybe that's different. Maybe then I'm like, usually there's a bundle option. I'm like, maybe it's a good example. I ordered just a few days ago, I ordered the new Kaleidos Cosmetics, or they're called Kaleidos Makeup now, this trio palette, the Futurism collection. And there was the Bronze Future or something like this, how it's called. was not really up my alley. But if I ordered only the 2 others plus the shipping, would have been just $1 less than buying the bundle and then pay no shipping. So I guess I'm a completionist if I can save actually money. Maybe. And then also like I also know some people I feel really completionist of having like all the releases or like all the eyeshadow palettes from one brand. For instance, with Juvia's Place, that's very common. I see a lot of people who were really die-hard Juvia's Place fans who were like, no, I need to have every palette, even though I know it's not for me. And this I definitely don't have. Like, I don't feel like, I used to have it a bit, especially with Juvia's Place, with Blush Tribe, the Certify, but I don't have it anymore. Like, I actually feel free kind of to make my decision. Do I want this because I want it, or do I want it because this company is releasing it and I have all the other palettes before? And yeah, so far I don't think there is any company that have all the eyeshadow palettes, for instance, or all the lipsticks or all the highlighters or whatever. Yeah, no, there's none. So no, I'm not a completionist on this either. The next question is, how do you store, organize your collection? So we have now we moved right now, so I do have to reorganize it a bit, and I have like a drawer like from IKEA. It's not this Alex drawers, but like a newer series from them that has like also really big drawers, and we have one that has altogether like 6, and 3 of them are occupied by my makeup, and 2 of them are eyeshadow palettes, and 1 of them is all the other stuff except of lipsticks. Lipsticks I keep somehow separated in the bathroom, because lipsticks is something, even though I don't do any makeup, I would maybe throw on a tinted lip balm, you know. That's why I have them always in the bathroom, in the drawers. But besides, yeah, so I would say that's how I keep it. And I try to keep it, that's something that Lacie said as well, I try to keep it in the way, always organized, that I can see everything, so that I don't have to take out makeup in order to see other makeup that's down, like under it. And yeah, so because then I feel like I am more aware of what I'm having. So that's how I store it. Nothing really exciting, to be entirely honest. And my singles I all store in small magnetic palettes, if this is also something that interests you. Is it? Probably not. Next question. What is your favorite thing about your collection? My favorite thing about my collection is definitely that I feel it doesn't matter what I see in the internet, you know, which trend, I probably can recreate it with my, like, I'm speaking mainly about eyeshadow because that's my weakness. Like, it doesn't matter which eye look I see, I probably can recreate it. And, you know, that's good and bad at the same time, but I love it. And then I also really love about my collection that it kind of, I just love sometimes to go there, open the drawer and just look at it, you know, like open the palettes and be like, oh, that's pretty. I don't know, like I just think I like the aesthetics of my collection. I'm really happy about the collection, and I'm really lately more excited about the collection. Like there was like some, you know, time last year especially where I did not feel too excited about it. Even though I liked the single palettes, I didn't feel really excited about the collection itself. But lately I'm getting pretty excited about it, and that's something really cool. And I think the best thing you can have in your collection is being excited to go there, open your drawers and be like, that's all mine, and I love it. And what I love besides my eyeshadow palettes is that with all the other items, so yeah, I love that. I think that I'm excited about it. That it's as easy as it gets. The next question is, what is your least favorite thing about your collection, and something you want to improve about your collection? So I think something that I do want to improve is to have a better understanding of my collection, like which shades I'm having, which shades I don't have. Like I don't have the best grip on my collection, let's say. Like sometimes I would buy something and realize I almost have the exact same thing already, but I didn't realize in the moment that I bought it. And sometimes I wish I would be better at this, you know, better at knowing what's coming, what's in there, and what I want coming my way, I guess. One thing that I really want to improve is the storage of my single eyeshadows. So I have here a couple of singles that I just used in a Get Ready With Me. And some of the gold fell out from this shade here. That's a bit concerning. Maybe I have to repress that one. So I have most of my single eyeshadows in smaller magnetic palettes. And I want to get a couple of like really big ones, like massive, in order to be able to store them all in one, because it gives me a better overview of what I have. And I do want to start also to depot more, so that I'm actually like palettes where I'm not super fan of the packaging or where I don't really care about it because it's not particularly beautiful, to depot it and add it in my single collection, because I feel that's how I get a better grip on what I all have for eyeshadows. And I think that's something I want to improve in the future. So yeah, definitely that. So let's move on. What is the biggest category of your collection? Eyeshadow palettes and eyeshadows in general, single eyeshadows. Like single eyeshadows and eyeshadows. Palettes together, eyeshadow. The next question. What is the smallest category of your collection? I guess mascara. I only have one. I think mascara is the only product I only have one of. Like I always have just one and then I buy the next one. Recently I had for 2 months I was using the NARS Climax mascara, which in the end I don't enjoy so much. It's good, but it's a bit difficult to handle sometimes if you have very fine lashes like me. And now I have the Lancome Hypnose Doll Eyes, and this one is actually pretty nice if you have very fine lashes, you know, like very thin but fine, like not a few but very fine. I don't know, do you say it like that? Then this one is actually pretty nice because it doesn't have like a thick paste. It has the exact amount between liquidy and thick. Yeah, that was not a question, but mascara is the smallest category in my collection. Do you have a holy grail in your collection? Do I have a holy grail in my collection? I don't know, like I don't really believe in holy grails, to be entirely honest. Like I think a holy grail thing goes along a lot with foundations, like, oh, this is my holy grail foundation. But my skin is so different throughout the year, like it changes so much. Like in summer it's an entirely different story than in winter, and you know, it constantly changes, that I cannot say that I have a holy grail foundation, because I have no foundation that works for me in every moment of the year. So I guess if I would ever find that, that would be probably my holy grail foundation. With eyeshadow, no, I don't have that. Like I have very formulas that I love absolutely, where I'm like, okay, this is really my absolute favorite for this color, or it's absolute favorite. But I wouldn't say like a holy grail, because a holy grail for me really means it covers every situation. You know, this product, doesn't matter what happens, goes always on my face, because it just does the best for me in every situation I can go to, and I don't have that. And I don't even think I want that, because that would mean I cannot really justify buying anything. So I guess no, I don't have that. And I don't really believe in holy grails in makeup anyway. So yeah, that's it. I do believe in favorites. I do believe like to have hardcore favorites, but holy grail is just something, so a word that is just too strong for what makeup can do, I guess. The next thing is, do you ever wish your collection was Do you ever wish your collection was bigger, smaller, or is it complete? I don't know, like I never sit around and think like, oh, I wish I had a bigger collection, I had a smaller collection. I don't know, like I don't think so. Like I don't feel it's complete either, because I know I'm gonna be adding things to it, even though I don't want it to become particularly bigger. I also don't want to throw out a lot of things because I don't want to become particularly smaller. I think yeah, it's none of those really occur to me. I think what I wanted is to be a good rotating thing, you know, like where I do declutter quite a lot, so I do have but I also buy, you know, makeup, and therefore I have a constant rotation in it, and I'm pretty happy with this actually. And yeah, when I was moving, I definitely wished my collection was smaller, trust me, because I had to pack all this freaking shit into cartons. Was like, my god, one of the biggest things I had to do in the whole move, and it wasn't fun, okay? It was not a lot of fun. So if you're moving very soon, then please, you know, maybe scale down a bit before you pack, because it's a crazy thing to pack all those palettes, which really shows you like, man, you have really a lot of makeup. I know my husband was like, what is this? What is all these cartoons over there? And I was like, that's my makeup. And he was like, are you freaking kidding me? And I was like, no, I don't. It was a... Okay, next thing, the next question is, how often do you declutter makeup in your collection? Pretty often. Like, I'm more like on the go declutter. I'm not sitting down, okay, now I make a declutter. Like I said before, I love to go to my drawers sometimes and open them, and if I spot something there, then I'm like, oh, I could get rid of this, I don't really use that. I'm like, okay, bye. You know, I'm not someone who sits dedicatedly down, but I do constantly throw out things that are not really, like, where I just know, okay, this one I don't need now anymore, I can go. Or sometimes when a friend visits or something, I'm like, hey, I was thinking about you the other day when I was using this, and I thought on you it would look so much better, do you want it? And they're like, okay, I'm here you go. And yeah, that's more like a rolling thing for me. I think that's a more natural way for me to do it than being like, okay, this is the dedicated day for makeup declutters. I don't really do that. I do that with clothes, but I don't do it with makeup. Next question is, do you ever get envious seeing other people's makeup collections? Not particularly about the collection itself. Like, I'm not, oh my god, I wish my collection would be that massive or that minimalistic. I just sometimes am envious of a couple of items. So I'm like, oh, that was maybe a limited edition, and you saw that and you're like, oh, I wish I would have gotten my hands on this one. But I love my collection a lot, and it has the items that it has in it for a purpose or for a reason, because I chose them, because I liked them, and therefore, yeah, I'm really happy with the collection that I'm having. Oh, what is this with this tongue and what's going on? So I'm really happy with my collection, so I'm not too envious about others. About single items, I can be envious about them, that I'm like, wow, I wish I would have gotten my hands on this. So we are almost there, 2 questions more. Who on YouTube has the best makeup collection video? I don't know, because except of this tag, I never watch makeup collection videos, because I don't know, I don't think, it's something that I personally don't think is a very great video format. It just kind of bores me a bit to, like, I started sometimes to watch a video and people were thought, okay, maybe they have a better take on it, but then 5 minutes in, I'm like, okay, whatever. Because it's like, okay, and I have this, and then I have that, and then I have that, and then I have that. And I'm like, so, I don't know, like, I don't really enjoy collection videos. I find them a bit boring. That's why I probably never really do one. Like, I do like to watch videos on dedicated things, you know, where they're like, I like to watch collection videos on single eyeshadows, you know, where they are all in the palette and they hold up like 3-4 magnetic palettes, and you know, it's quicker, it's you know, it's faster, it's very on spots, you know, of what's the item, and it can be shown very all together. I don't know, it just has something. I think this is the reason, because then they also swatch more when there's not so much to show, and that's what would be interested in. But in the collection videos, the first thing they normally say is like, yeah, I'm not going to swatch anything, blah blah blah. I'm not into that, you know. I just don't want to. It is just not my thing. Okay, so I don't know who has the best makeup collection video. Okay, let's move on. It's the last question. What's some advice you'd give to a future makeup collector? That's actually a really good question, I think. I think the advice I would give is, before you now, like, start slow, you know, be cool, chill, and just when you start to get into makeup, the temptation is huge, because there's so many items everywhere available, there's so many brands, so much, a massive offer of makeup, you know. And I would say just start with something affordable to see what do you actually like, which colors do you like, which foundation finish do you like, which kind of lip formula do you like, you know. It doesn't have to be like this like matte formula from Dose of Colors is to me the best one. No, first of all, just try to find out do you like glossy lips, or do you like matte lips, or do you like creamy lips, just in general, the all over category. And then when you decided, oh, I really like creamy lips, then you can maybe, you know, investigate a bit more into more expensive brands. But I do think, go chill, don't go straight up to the super expensive stuff until you don't really know what is you know, what you really like, which colors you like, etc. And even then, if you find that in drugstore, you don't need to go bougie every time with everything, you know. If you found something that you really love, it doesn't necessarily mean that an expensive brand will have something better for you in stock. It also doesn't mean it's not, but you know, just try to not to get too soaked up into having to try everything at once, because I feel like everybody who has like a big heart for makeup at one point will get in this moment where he or she has to decide, like, do I dive into everything now, you know, or do I step away from it? Like, because with beauty YouTube and everything around, it's so hard sometimes to understand as someone who's a beginner that it's not necessary to have all this makeup in order to be a makeup lover. You just need to have something that you love, because then that's what you are. You're loving makeup, so you're a makeup lover. So yeah, just try to be step by step and really try to figure out what do you like and what you don't, and then try to go on slowly from there and stay true to yourself, you know. That's always the best thing. Like, when you start with something, stay true to yourself, and just because someone tells you, oh, contours always have to be cool tone, you have to be cool tone, even though you're maybe much better with a warm tone one. So yeah, try to also listen to yourself instead of only the people on YouTube like me who are telling you this and this and this and that, blah blah blah. Okay, so this was the last question. That's all. Let me know how you would answer those questions. I would be especially interested in the last one. That was actually a really good question. So yeah, that's it. It's not a short video, I'm sorry, but I did my best. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like this kind of videos. Consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, so we can see each other in my next video. Bye bye!